world concluded that Ronaldo was excessively overweight to perform, but he proved them wrong. Ronaldo Fenômeno may represent the most threatening opponent anyone could face, but many act as if his career ended in 2006. However, even long after that point, when he looked like a retired player, like a vacationing father, with weight extra and a knee operated 8 times, Ronaldo still displayed his unique essence. The way he moved seemed to defy logic, sometimes more agile and faster than young players around him. But what made Ronaldo truly frightening wasn't just his dribbling or finishing, it was his coolness and intelligence, being one of the most composed players to set foot on this planet. It was as if he saw everything in slow motion. Even though he weighed 200 pounds, he found ways to make defenders look inexperienced. Everyone knew that. The defenders marking him were truly disconcerted, his highlights running through their minds. He simply didn't behave correctly when he looked this monster in the eye. In my opinion, his time at Corinthians was one of the most impressive tricks he has ever pulled off. Ronaldo proved the age-old adage that form is temporary, class is permanent. Beneath those layers of fatty tissue, this world's greatest predator lay dormant, eager for one last hunt. Even after being rejected and humiliated by the world, Ronaldo showed one last time that he was still the best. When the world decided Ronaldo was done, many seemed to have forgotten how harshly he was treated because of his weight. When he left Real Madrid, he was called El Gordo in Spain, and at AC Milan, the situation did not improve. Ancelotti even doubted him, but Ronaldo, weighing over 100 kilograms, responded by scoring 2 goals in the next game. The season statistics were absurd, with a goal contribution every 81 minutes in his first 3 months at the club. However, injuries piled up, and approximately a year after his arrival, he was leaving Milan. Even after being out for more than 100 days due to a broken leg and facing knee problems, Milan did not see the need to keep him, terminating his contract. When he recovered from surgery, Ronaldo was already 32 years old, 3 years since his last call-up to the Brazilian national team, and more than a year since his last appearance on the field. Since he stepped foot on a field again, in everyone's eyes, Ronaldo had ended his career. The return of the player, who seemed retired, occurred in an unusual way when Flamengo, his childhood club, witnessed his training. 15 years later, Ronaldo was back in Brazil, at Flamengo's training camps, arousing the fans' disbelief. It seemed certain that Flamengo would not allow him to escape, but concerns about his complete recovery postponed negotiations. Dissatisfied, Ronaldo received a call from Corinthians and accepted, breaking the Flamengo fans' hearts. The betrayal became evident, but the situation became even stranger when the question arose, how did Corinthians manage to sign him? The club president, initially incredulous, later stated that the suggestion to sign him caused a reaction of disbelief. He even exclaimed, "We can't even pay the water bill, and you're suggesting signing Ronaldo?" Corinthians, newly promoted to the first division, was on the verge of bankruptcy at the time, allegedly involved with the Russian mafia. For years earlier, a fan named Renato Duprat presented the board with the opportunity to sign a $1 million contract with the company MSI, which was promptly accepted. They signed Tevez and Mascherano, winning the title a year later. However, the lack of caution became evident when MSI was investigated by the police, leading the partnership to ruin. The company left the country, leaving Corinthians with the responsibility of resolving all the accumulated debt. To this, their president reacted by essentially resigning, leaving them in the second division. As for the origin of the money, the whole operation was a way to launder dirty money for Boris Berezovsky, a Russian with ties to the mafia, who was practically exiled in the United Kingdom. It is not surprising that Andrés Sanchez, the new president, initially did not see it as possible to sign Ronaldo. However, after some persuasion, he decided to take a chance in the dark, and it worked. After hours of discussions about the demands of Ronaldo's agent, things seemed to get worse at every turn. Sanchez one day got up to smoke a cigarette in the bathroom, calling Ronaldo to join him. Once alone, Ronaldo asked, "What do you want to do?" Sanchez replied, "I want to go home, but the amount of money you're asking for is crazy. We're coming out of the second division, we don't have all that." Ronaldo reassured him, "Don't worry, we don't even need to decide on a salary. I just want to play." Thus, the signing was announced a few days later, leaving fans ecstatic. Watching his performance, one would think the greatest of all time had arrived, and perhaps he actually had. Ronaldo's dream was simple: score 30 goals, be called up to the national team, win the Libertadores, and, in the end, try for the Club World Cup. However, others saw this as overly optimistic, as, according to the press, Ronaldo weighed 97 kilos at the time, an optimistic estimate, as Corinthians would confirm years later that he weighed 115 kilos. The club was still far from fully recovering, and the changing room at its training ground was literally a shipping container, where players often complained about waiting for hot water naked, staring into the shower. Ronaldo himself acknowledged that, upon witnessing all these conditions, he called the president and expressed, "Man, where did you bring me? It rains more inside the locker room than outside." Life at the club was not simple, but having Ronaldo there motivated the players like never before. When I heard the stories about how they reacted to his hiring, there was total disbelief. As Douglas mentioned, when they told me, I was like, "What, Ronaldo?" Then I was like, "Ronaldo?" When he walked into the locker room, we all stood there like school kids, thinking, What the hell am I supposed to say? You're welcome." Ronaldo definitely pulled Corinthians out of the mud, making the fans believe in the team again. Ronaldo scored a lot of goals and took Corinthians to the Libertadores, but he didn't get very far. He apologized to the fans. And everyone understood the case. And to this day, Ronaldo is considered Corinthians' best player. Ronaldo declares, "Many people should be ashamed of the things they have said about my weight. In the last few days, I have been crying like a baby, finally losing the battle against my own body. Those who are close to me know the truth. I can barely climb stairs without feeling pain. I dedicated my life to football. I sacrificed everything. I have no regrets. But now, I must say goodbye." Upon leaving, although over these 3 years I have contributed only a few good months for the club, the president called him the greatest the club has ever had. 4 months later, he played his ceremonial match with the Brazilian team and, even after several injections, he was only able to remain on the field for a short period. I hope you are enjoying the content. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I ask you to click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Your subscription is very important to us and helps us to continue bringing you interesting content. Thank you very much for your support, and see you in the next video.